and I'm the president of the HOA for the East Lake Park Homeowners Association. We have a major concern about safety on Narcoossee Road. And looking at this particular development, it's going to dump approximately 1,000 cars onto Narcoossee every morning between 7 and 9 a.m. And what you dump onto Narcoossee has got to go someplace. And so that traffic has to be considered when you take on a plan like this. Narcoossee Road is not capable of handling that. If you talk to the police, the fire, and the EMTs, I'm sure they would be vehemently against it because of the number of calls and the number of life flights that have landed on Narcoossee just in the time that we've been.
The president of the HOA there. The association, we're off Narcoossee Road just south of Boggy Creek. This is a very highly concentrated part of East St. Cloud and very highly congested every single day, but there's 6 to 7 hours a week during the weekday. You cannot go north or south due to school traffic. Due to the school, it really has a lot of children going back and forth and parents. Besides the fact right now at Majestic Oaks, there was some poor engineering and the road is single lane. Narcoossee Road is it's a real big bottleneck every day, starting about 6:30 through about 9:30. Then it starts again at 2:45 to 5:30 or 6 o'clock because of school and the people going north and south, going to and from their jobs. The traffic congestion and the car crashes keep the fire department on the go. Station 51 is the only station on Narcoossee Road in that particular area. Has a total of 3 paid firemen. There is no paramedic. There's no rescue squad there. Let alone all the children that are at Narcoossee Middle School, the middle school. There's 1,300 in elementary school. Besides, there's 1,300 in the back at the elementary school, or vice versa, I'm sorry.
But as you know, I'm representing our Narcoossee Highway 15 corridor group, and that includes residents from both the county and the city. And tonight, Mr. Mayor, as I spoke with you yesterday, I'm going to be speaking for a lot of people, so I may need a couple more minutes just to cover everything.
Well, you've already used up 45, so 45 seconds to go.
That didn't count. Give me a break. We understand that property owners have the right to sell their property, and the new owners have a right to purchase it and develop it, and that's the way it should be. But it should be that whatever transpires going forward should be compatible with what is existing, not detrimental. The community's responses, I sent out emails to my group, and the community's responses through those emails, phone calls, social media, and even conversations in the grocery store like at Disney were 100% against this development, and for many reasons we'll get into just shortly. Last night I forwarded over to you, Mr. Mayor, as you suggested, over 70 emails in response to this. I can go home now and probably have another 50 or 70 that I could send to you, but they're all saying the same thing. It's 100% against this.
I'm a longtime St. Cloud resident. I lived here when Narcoossee Road was 2 lanes with cows on one side in pastures and horse farms on the other side and open space as far as you can see. I'm concerned with the overbuilding and overcrowding in St. Cloud. When I drive down that area from coming out from Orlando North, and I get to that area, and it's all open, and it looks like the old part, and then you say, oh, I'm almost in St. Cloud. I feel better now. Putting up high rises is going to make us look like Orlando and not the St. Cloud everyone's used to. There are new subdivisions going up that have not even near completion. They're just starting. We don't know what the traffic is going to come into on Narcoossee Road with all those subdivisions. Thousands of homes, people still waiting to close in December and January. I know this personally. So our schools that we built for all the homes going in that we had a couple of years ago, they're at full capacity. Are we going to go back to outdoor trailers like we had 10, 15 years ago? The drainage. The drainage is an issue. The land absorbs the water. I saw sidewalks just north of that area with the light rain today, and they were underwater. So if you continue down further, the road's going to be underwater, and it's really hard to drive on Narcoossee Road. It's flooding, and I experienced that in the commercial area
further north.
You're always going to hear somebody come up, they're going to talk about schools, they're going to talk about traffic, they are going to talk about the infrastructure. That's what you hear every time, because St. Cloud is not built for this. It's one of the reasons I'm here. I'm a Florida native. I moved to the St. Cloud area 11 and a half years ago, and I built my home 5.5 years ago. I loved the feel. It doesn't have apartments. I wanted my kids to go to Narcoossee Elementary and Middle School, which they have, and they've done wonderfully there. But the school is overcrowded. That's the reality of it, and that's not your problem. That is the school district's problem. I understand that. But when you approve house after house after house, and you allow this many people to move in this quickly, the school district is not able to keep up, even with impact fees. There is no new school on the books to be built for a K-8 in this area in the next 2 years. Right now, we have already over 1,500 homes that are approved and waiting to be built off of Jack Brack, Jones, Cyrils, all that area. Those kids are going to go to that school, to Narcoossee Elementary and Narcoossee Middle. You think traffic's bad now? You're not even gonna see it. My friend's son was killed on Narcoossee. There are 2 lights between Boggy Creek and 192. The city nor the county want to spend any money to put new lights in. They want the developers to do them, and they're waiting for it. High-density residential units are not appropriate for this area on Narcoossee.
Of Turtle Creek, okay? I'd like to, can I yield my time to Ms. Betty Demkin?
Mayor, you typically do not do that.
No, it just opens up a can of worms. You say whatever you need to say.
Okay, well, I just didn't want to be redundant, and basically everything that everybody that has said before me, I second. And like myself, a lot of my neighbors as well. So I don't know the meetings, I didn't have the opportunity to assist to the meetings that were held in 2020 virtually, okay? But all these concerns that have been brought to you by now, schooling, fire department, police, those are all concerns that we have in Turtle Creek, not just myself, but a lot
Right
of
on
my neighbors.
Narcoossee, so I heard many of the concerns from the other people that spoke before me, and I can say that they're all true, from the pressure, the water, from the problems with the traffic, the schools, everything is true. And I live right on Narcoossee, so I can hear all the cars when they crash, the ambulances, the police going through. It is a very dangerous road. And it is frustrating if you live anywhere in Narcoossee or off of Narcoossee, you know, when you're going to shop, you know, whether it's right there at Lake Nona, which is just about 10 minutes, or when you go anywhere and you're coming back home, the traffic is unbearable. It's unbearable. It's dangerous.
I wanted to speak to this because it's kind of near and dear to my heart, the traffic on Narcoossee. And you may say, what the heck is she talking about? She's off of Nova Road. But the neighbor that sold the property next to me works down Narcoossee Road. It almost makes me cry to think about it. And when he spoke to me and told me why he sold his property was because the traffic on Narcoossee is so bad. He's like, the city is forcing me to move and to move somewhere else so that I can be on the other side, closer to Lake Nona. So